Hey everyone, it's Fonzie from Plastic Cards Podcast. Just doing a quick update on the Project xCloud beta. Got to play with it over the weekend and kind of compiled my final thoughts on it. So early on, I was maybe a bit more negative, and it is working better. I've had a kind of a better time playing it. There's games like Sea of Thieves. First time playing it was through Project xCloud, and it's actually runs fine, and it kind of does the job. Is it the ideal situation? Not really. I mean, I'd rather have my Xbox, but the gears turn in my mind where it's like if you don't have the ability to buy a $200 machine, Xbox or the next generation of Xbox, you could just have your controller and stream everything on Wi-Fi, assuming you have a good enough Wi-Fi. That's actually interesting to me. At the moment, there's enough kinks and weirdness where it's just not there, but granted, this is still a beta, but I can see where if they really kind of polish everything, and I don't know what they can do on their end to make everything happen a bit faster, but the groundwork is there, so it's definitely doable. As far as the games they have available for the beta, we have Gears 5. We have Halo. We have Killer Instinct. And Sea of Thieves. The only one that really gave me the most trouble was Halo 5. Really couldn't get it to a playable stance where I could, have confidence in what I was doing, and what I was pressing on, the controller was one for one happening on screen. It had the most trouble just keeping up with what was going on. So it just turned me off from trying to, keep stress testing it. Played a multiplayer match and did terrible. Also played multiplayer with Gears. Did really bad with that, where I just had no confidence in my controls actually transferring to what's happening on screen, and meanwhile I'm just getting demolished with people online who have actual consoles. And so I'd really just tried to focus on the single player options with a lot of this stuff, except for Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is all online. You're playing with other people. Matches where the accuracy is important. It wasn't like that with Sea of Thieves. It was pretty laid back, fun. So I had a better time playing with Sea of Thieves, and it all in all, the app itself was able to handle and stream most games to a playable ability. It just wasn't. It's not going to knock your socks off, but I can see where this would be ideal to someone that doesn't have an actual console. That's where the benefit lies. But at the moment, it's nothing that's making me throw my Xbox away. I don't have any thoughts like that. So one thing I did try, which I'm not sure if it was really intended for with this beta, I imagine down the road, but I tried streaming the footage from my phone onto my TV. So I'm playing the game on my phone, streaming it on my TV, kind of overriding the need for an Xbox and just streaming straight to the TV with a controller. And it didn't work great. It had maybe a good second to a second and a half of lag, of noticeable lag, of hardcore, just waiting before your trigger pull registers into a shotgun blast. So I was playing Gears 5 with it, and it works, but you can tell that really wasn't the focus with the beta. But I can imagine eventually that's the goal too, to have another option where you buy the controller, very similar to what Stadia is doing, where they will send out a controller and you will stream the controller or the input straight into your TV with other Google devices, and you don't need a console. It's very similar to that idea. Didn't work in this case, but I can see where that would be a possible end goal. I just wanted to try that out, and yeah, it kind of went as I thought. It's almost like a 480 720p, drop in quality, but it's there. There's the bones are there. It's just a matter of really making everything more efficient and work to a point where you'd want to actually spend money and buy something like this. So all in all, not a negative experience playing this, but it really, the ideal way at the moment is still with the physical console in your room. But I imagine that it could really work the kinks out and present something that is on par, or at least would make normal, regular gamers in their home consider it. If you're going out of town, you can play in a hotel room, or at the at Starbucks. Although whipping this thing out at Starbucks, testing the Wi-Fi playing Gears 5, it worked. It actually did pretty well, but I felt like a weirdo for sure building this thing and a controller and a phone and this weird plastic dongle, and so maybe I don't know how they fix that, the weirdness that comes with playing this thing in public, but it does work, and that was pretty cool. So definitely overall, I'm not convinced, or this is something that I wouldn't buy right off the bat or pay a subscription for. But if you threw this into Xbox Live, as just an additional mode, I mean, that'd be really cool. They definitely need to work out the kinks, and I imagine they are. This is the beta, so it's definitely not the final product, but it's something that is there, but definitely needs to be worked on. So the direct competitor to this would be Stadia with Google's Project Stream, or what is now Stadia, and they initially tried this with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I was in on that beta, and it actually worked really well. That input was it was there, but it was so small that it was doable. I could see myself playing that entire game on Stadia, and got pretty far through that game. But now with xCloud, they're definitely a step back. So I don't know if they have the resources that Google has as far as like the servers and whatnot, and making all that software and the connection speeds efficient. But if they keep working at it and get to on par with that, I could see them both going toe to toe with each other. And I imagine we'll see Sony reveal something along those lines as well. We'll see how that goes. But at the moment, I'm not swayed away from what Stadia. If anything, it shows that what Google's able to perform with Stadia is pretty remarkable, considering that Microsoft is also doing the same thing, but they just don't have the capacity, the infrastructure in place to really compete with them on that level yet. But I imagine that's leeway is going to be quickly shortened once these consoles really start to innovate and make everything more efficient. So we'll end it there. Final thoughts. I'm optimistic. I'm not swayed against it. Also not waiting in line for anything like this, although with digital stuff, no one waits in line anymore. But yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm just not excited for it. But it's kind of a cool thing if they work out. That's awesome. But it's definitely not. I'm not maybe the ideal audience. I think at this moment, I prefer to have a one-for-one console, experience at home where it's performing to the highest ability. Have the One X and the PS4 Pro. Those things call out to me, just because you can really get the best performance and highest quality out of them. At the moment, streaming isn't there, but I mean, over time, it's only going to get better. I can see that for sure. It's a bit wonky right now. It's a bit rough, but we're also at the initial start point of this kind of innovative technology. And so we'll see, where it goes. I could totally see people just having a controller in 10 years, 15 years, assuming the Wi-Fi can really improve across the country as from the point that it is now. But I could see that as a weird alternate reality. Yeah, so we'll end it there. Just give my initial thoughts. And you can always catch us every Tuesday, Plastic Hearts Podcast, where I'm joined with my normal co-host, Gavin Jones. And that's it. Bye-bye.